Welcome back to the American side. I'm Mahi Mustafa. On January 3rd, the US forces captured the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, in Caracas. Official explanation? Capturing drug cartels, combating them, protecting human rights, restoring democracy. But history tells us to look deeper. This moment is just not about Venezuela. It's about the petrodollar system. Before de-dollarization turns into an avalanche. Quick history lesson. In the 1970s, after the collapse of the gold standard, the US struck a quiet but powerful deal with Saudi Arabia. You sell oil only in US dollars, and we guarantee your security. The result? Oil equals dollars, global trade equals dollars. And the US gets what the economists call exorbitant privilege. Washington can print money, borrow cheaply, and enforce sanctions with devastating force, saving an estimate of $100 to $250 billion a year in borrowing costs alone. But that privilege is weakening. Global dollar reserves are down to around 59%. Central banks brought over 600 tons of gold in 2025, near record levels. And China is offering alternatives: yuan-denominated oil contracts, its own payment networks, CIPS now handling trillions annually. Venezuela matters here a lot. It holds the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, over 300 billion barrels. Venezuela also holds 161 metric tons of gold in its official reserves, making it Latin America's largest gold holder. But let's talk about the oil. Since 2018, the Caracas has been selling oil to China in yuan, bypassing the dollar entirely. That's not just trade. That's a direct challenge to dollar dominance. And this is where history gets deeply uncomfortable. In 2000, Saddam Hussein said that he's going to sell oil in euros. 3 years later, regime change, just like that. In 2009, Muammar Gaddafi proposed a gold-backed African dinar for oil trade. 2 years later, NATO intervention. Iran has long pursued non-dollar energy sales. Result? Crushing sanctions. And now Venezuela. Maduro nationalized oil, shifted sales towards yuan, integrated with BRICS, as in British, Russia, India, China, South Africa. The US response? Years of sanctions, and now a direct military action under the new administration of Trump. And listen closely to what hasn't been said after Maduro's capture. As President Trump puts it bluntly, oils is ours again. American companies are going back in big. Not democracies restored, not human rights secured. Oil. This isn't about denying Venezuela's corruption, repression, or failures. Those are real. But they're also useful justifications layered on top of a deeper strategic concern: stopping the domino effect. Because if Venezuela proves oil can trade outside the dollar, others may follow. Brazil, Argentina, maybe even Saudi Arabia hedging with yuan. And once that happens, the petrodollar throne starts to wobble. So what happens now? A friendly government is installed, a puppet government as some would say. The Venezuelan oil is flown back into the dollar's market. Yuan contracts quietly disappear. China loses a major supplier. BRICS momentum slows, at least for now. Now here's why Americans should care. If dollar loses its special role, inflation is hard to control. Borrowing becomes more expensive. US influence shrinks. That's not abstract geopolitics. That's higher prices, tighter budgets, and less room for error at home. Yet much of the media frames this as a clean victory for freedom. We deserve better than slogans. We deserve context. Because empire doesn't just announce itself, it justifies itself. This is the American side. I'm Mahi Mustafa. Until next time.